Fact or fiction? We're doing a little combo platter here with Avengers Infinity War and Endgame because they both came out basically a year apart. Infinity War was released on April 27th, 2018. Endgame was released on April 26th, 2019. We're going to play some fact or fiction here where I have a statement and then Frank has to guess whether or not that statement is fact or it is fiction. Number one.
Fiction.
Fact or fiction? Tom Holland spoiled the ending of Infinity War before the movie was released.
That's fact. I remember seeing that interview.
Oh, I forgot to reset your score. Yeah, fact. Tom Holland he has a notorious reputation for dropping spoilers. During the premiere of Infinity War, he was handed a microphone and blurted out, "I'm alive!" assuming that the audience had already seen the movie. And in fact, he wasn't the only one. Do you remember who the other big spoiler was?
Yeah, Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
Was doing it because I remember him with Don Cheadle. Like, dude, you can't talk about
That's it, dude. He says, dude, right there. Look at that. Because he says, wait till you see the next one. And he doesn't. He goes, ha, everyone dies. And truly, Don Cheadle goes, dude, like full on reaction.
So, I saw this clip of Holland on Kimmel when he was promoting Far From Home for Spider-Man, and they talked about how he would give away so much stuff at Endgame. You know, what did they do to trick him? And he goes, oh, well, you know, in the end where they have the funeral for Tony, and they're like, yeah. He goes, well, they told me it was supposed to be a wedding, so I show up thinking it's a wedding, and then Robert Downey Jr.'s not there.
But I gotta tell you too, this clip with Ruffalo here. This made me love this man even more when he just goes, I'm sorry, I get impulsive, right? He's down here. Yeah. It's just so good. It's so funny. Now, has there ever been a spoiler accidentally? Has there one that's ruined a movie for you?
Man, thinking on it, I'm sure there's probably been one in the last 15 years or so, but before social media, no, I never had any of that problem.
I had, on social media, I had somebody ruin The Force Awakens online.
Maybe what is it? Sixth Sense. I think I had overheard somebody saying like he was actually dead, and I was like trying to play it off like I didn't hear it. And when I saw the movie, I kind of already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, they totally spoiled it. Yeah, so I do remember the first Avengers movie. And my buddy Donnie, who has done some of the triple feature movie draft for us, he and I were talking about Avengers, and I hadn't seen it yet. And he just blurts out. He was talking about Agent Coulson, and he just blurts out. He goes, "I can't believe he died." And I just looked at him, and he goes, and he was mortified. I just remember Donnie going, "Oh my God, you haven't seen it." Well,
Going into Infinity War and even Endgame, it's like just knowing the comics and the whole thing. I kind of already knew it was going to happen, so it's like it wasn't. Even when I saw some of the spoil, even though I went to see it the weekend it opened, it's like I already knew what was going to happen, and it's kind of like even with the stuff with the Doomsday Secret Wars, I kind of already know what's going to happen. So there's not much of a shock value or surprise to me with these things.
I remember. Well, first of all, this is where I'll tell this story for Lan because when he and I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine together, and when we were going in, because we had talked about how we were trying to avoid social media to make sure you weren't getting any spoilers or anything, and he had commented, he's like, he did have a character spoiled for him, but he wasn't sure what role that character played, and it turned out that it was the Human Torch. It was Chris Evans. So
it's been long enough now.
Yeah, not gonna spoil spoiler alert. But yeah, so I remember that, and then, and not necessarily a spoiler for these movies that ruined it, but I do remember seeing the movie when it was over. That is the quietest I have ever been in a movie theater.
What's that on?
Infinity War.
Oh yeah.
Half the people just turned to dust
because they're all used to happy. They're all used to happy endings, and this one ends on a downer.
Oh, big time. Big
I was
time.
I was like, Jack, I was like, dude, let's get this next one out now. I'm ready. Like, I didn't want to wait another year. I was like, let's do this.
Yep.
This is great.
Yep.
I love the tone that movie Infinity War. I thought it was better than Endgame. The tone at the beginning when Thanos is there and he's just like, I'm here to fuck shit up, and then he does, and it's like game over, man. Oh, that was such a good one.
All right, fact or fiction? The cast filmed both Infinity War and Endgame completely in order so that they would not get confused.
That's fiction.
That's a big
They
old
were
fat
overly
fiction.
confused.
Both films were shot out of order over the course of a year, often with actors unsure which movie or timeline they were filming. To keep track, the Russo brothers, the directors, sometimes only gave actors the scenes that they were in with limited context. Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland especially struggled to keep the timeline straight because they weren't told the full story.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, fact or fiction? The America's ass line. You'll notice as I found this online, this is actually a autographed copy. But that line was improvised by Chris Evans. Fact or fiction?
It's got to be fact, right?
No, fiction. The line was in the script for Endgame by screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely.
McFeely.
I'm telling you. Like, when I was doing the research for this, every time I see his name pop up, I'm like, come on, man. You got to be kidding me. But Evans loved it so much, he said he was shocked Marvel approved it, and he delivered it perfectly deadpan. It became one of the most quoted lines in the entire film, showing the MCU could still poke fun at itself. That is America's ass. Fact or fiction, Robert Downey Jr. was the only actor who knew Iron Man would die in Endgame.
Well, that's obviously got to be fact, because Tom Holland thought he was going to a damn wedding at the end of the movie.
No. Most likely fiction. Very few people knew how the movie would end, but Robert Downey Jr. was told early on that Tony Stark would sacrifice himself. He helped shape the emotional weight of the scene, and his I am Iron Man line was added in reshoots after editors felt something was missing. The line was a perfect callback to the very first MCU film, closing the arc full circle. RDJ was told as far back as 2015 that Iron Man would die. It's also believed Tom Holland did know back to 2016 that Iron Man would eventually die as well. Now, whether or not that was in at the end of Endgame, not completely known right there.
Did you ever see the outtakes of the stuff that they didn't put in as far as that ending? Like what was shot but they didn't use? Did you ever see those?
Bits and pieces.
Like where like you have all the heroes that are actually they're there and then they all go down to like a knee, like Tim Tebow. I actually was like, dude, that actually was pretty. They could have used that. That almost brought a damn tear to my eye watching that.
I'm telling you, one thing that Disney is missing out on when it comes to things like Avengers, Star Wars movies, the ones where when you see them opening night, you're going to get massive crowd reaction. They need to set aside specific screenings, film the audience, and then put those up on Disney Plus later. Because I still to this day, I love going to YouTube and watching like audience reactions to when Thor shows up or we'll get to some of the other scenes here. Excuse me. Sorry. Fact or fiction? Thanos was originally supposed to kill all 6 original Avengers.
I'm going to go fiction.
It's fiction, although the idea was kind of floated around, but the Russos and Kevin Feige, they thought it was too bleak, and they wanted to leave no legacy characters for closure. So instead, they decided to have the OG6 survive Infinity War to bring the story full circle in Endgame. The deaths or retirements were carefully chosen to balance emotional payoff with narrative purpose. Like, this is one of those scenes where, for me, I love it where he's like, are you sure he's alone? And they're like, yeah. And then Thor just says, then let's kill him properly this time. And that's when his eyes
Well,
start glowing, and he holds his hands out.
It's a trap, and he goes, and Iron Man goes, yeah, I don't really much care right now, and he goes, good, as long as we agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then calls him down, and
and he's like, let's kill him properly this time.
Got the braided beard now and everything.
And he's still got the gut. It's fantastic. All right, next one. Fact or fiction, Brie Larson filmed Endgame before she even shot Captain Marvel.
Fiction.
No, I'm sorry. That is a fact. Captain Marvel was released first, but Brie Larson shot her Endgame scenes before she ever filmed her solo movie. She had no sense of her character's arc, so the directors and writers had to guide her performance with limited context. It's why her appearance in Endgame feels more like a cameo. Her full power and personality had not been developed yet.
Still hasn't.
It is not. Hey,
She did sing
hey
in
Peter
the
Parker,
second
you got
movie, though.
something for me? You and your butch cut?
Got my spider tingle for you.
Fact or fiction, final one. The final battle scene in Endgame was the most expensive sequence in Marvel history.
Oh, it's got to be true. There's just CGI and everything in that.
Yeah, you are correct. The giant battle scene featuring nearly every major MCU hero, including Howard the Duck, a full CGI army, and tons of VFX layers, was one of the most technically and financially complex scenes Marvel ever produced. It took months of shooting, hundreds of effects artists, and multiple versions before they landed the final cut. The moment when Avengers assemble is said it was kept secret from some of the cast members until the premiere. And these are the scenes. I'm telling you, this one, or the one that really will get you, is if you jump on YouTube, like audience reactions, is the Cap on your left. When he's sitting, like Thanos knocks him down. It's after he's already picked up Mjolnir.
Tightens it up.
And he tightens up the shield. And he's just saying, he's like, I can do this all day. And then you hear the crackle. And then you hear, on your left. And then all of a sudden you see the circle open up, and then whoosh, in comes the Falcon.
The sparkly MCU thing. What does the Deadpool call it? Sparkly strange circle.
Yeah, it was great. All right, well, Frank did pretty good right there. And that is some fact or fiction about Avengers Endgame and Infinity War.